Hello and welcome to another deck primer here at StarCityGames.com. My name's Corey Baumeister, and this week we are bringing you dinosaurs. You thought they were extinct, but they ain't. They are not extinct at all. These dinosaurs are back and stronger than ever. This is definitely the best dinosaur build that I have seen over the course of their reincarnation into Standard. Now, the thing that appeals to me about this deck is it is and it's definitely a metagame call, but right now I think it is definitely attacking the metagame in a very good way. The decks that are at top of the world right now are mono red, mono blue / other blue based tempo decks, and like Esper Hero. And any of those decks, or basically any deck in the format right now, is going to have a weakness to one of our early drop creatures, either Rotting Regisaur, Ripjaw Raptor, or Shifting Ceratops. Either Rotting Regisaur crushes Nexus because it's just such a fast clock and they're not able to set up before they have to start root snaring. Ripjaw Raptor annihilates red-based decks with being able to be a very good card against Chain Whirler, as well as it's just very hard to kill without us drawing a bunch of cards. And Shifting Ceratops just crushes all these blue-based decks. Blue Tempo, Blue-Green Tempo, Esper Hero, as well as just Regisaur Alpha being insane against everything. And then Galta just going over the top against any deck in the format right now. We have a lot of great sideboard options, and I went into great detail in the recap. I'm trying something a little bit different this week, where I'm just doing the intro as the intro, and then in the recap, I went into detail about everything, sideboarding and stuff like that. So feel free to check that out at the end of the video. If you are interested in not getting the matches spoiled, do not fast forward to the recap, because I did talk about the matches. But I gave an in-depth recap of why I chose all the cards and why I like this deck in the first place. So for now, enjoy the games. Alright, and welcome to the games, everybody, here with round one here with Dinos. Alright, let's see how we can do. I've been doing great in testing with this deck. Let's see if the results can continue on, because I really think this deck is absolutely busted. So, alright, I would love to play first. This hand is fine. The only problems, we don't have the 2-mana creatures. The 2-mana creatures are very important to your opening hand, but we do have kind of the next best thing in the form of Domri here to accelerate us into Regisaur Alpha, plus a Commune the Dinosaur as a follow-up play here. I'm going to keep this. And our mana base is fine since we don't have a 2-drop. And even if we did, we could just go Craig into Unclaimed Territory, and then, unfortunately, the next land would come into play tapped. But the way it stands here, I think this hand is completely fine. Domri has been great in testing so far. Absolutely great. Being able to fight with Ripjaw Raptor, being able to accelerate definitely comes up. The one thing is, if you have at least 3 creatures, you can play Domri, and it makes Galta, or it makes Domri free, because the +3 power to your creatures will make Galta cost 3 less. A cute little trick if it comes up. Alright, our opponent looks like they mulliganed to 6. We're going to go Craig, pass it back. Alright. Mono blue. Ooh, that is the perfect draw. Perfect draw. Huntmaster is insane. So we're going to go Dino here. Sometimes you name Human or Shaman if you don't have red mana, but that's the only time. Otherwise, it's just Dino, Dino, Dino. So, now we need to top deck a land here. That's perfect. Okay, so blue-green. I'm guessing blue-green Flash. Could be Simic Nexus. So regardless, we're going to want to... I mean, our only play is Domri here. But we're going to go Domri, and then we can commune with dinosaurs. Reasonable. Alright, we'll get on in there. Next turn we have Regisaur Alpha here. Alright, we're hoping we don't see like a Sinister Sabotage, but it's definitely a possibility. We're going to go for it. Leave us alone. Lame. Okay, well, we're out of gas now. Commune can find something, which is great, of course. A Ceratog or something for the pro blue would be excellent. Alright, we're going to start with Commune. If this gets countered as well, we're just completely out of gas. Luckily, that was not the case. Alright, so we're going to go with the Rotting Regisaur. Now, we want to make sure we leave green and black open. Or green and red, excuse me. Come on, let something resolve. That's fine. Essence capture? Ugh. Now we're going to attack here. Just because if our opponent tries to block, we get to collision. Alright, now we're completely in top deck mode, but our opponent should be somewhat out of gas. Dinos does top deck quite well against these blue base flash decks, because if you ever just top deck a Ceratog, it's just insane. Now I'm not even going to attack because I don't want to risk the flash 4/4 to just block it. So we're just going to say go. And they didn't play a land, so they likely have 3 spells in hand, which is bad news for us. Yep. Our opponent's draw lined up quite well with ours this game, unfortunately. Alright, we're going to have to take 4. That card pulls ahead so quickly, too, that I don't love our chances. Especially when we just keep drawing lands. Alright, so we're just going to say go. Not much play we could do to it this game. And this deck does play out in such a way where you really need to aggressively mulligan with this deck because you don't need a ton of cards. You don't need a mass amount of cards to incrementally gain advantage like these Risen Reef decks or Teamer or even Blue-Green Flash that we're playing against. Yeah, we're just dead. We could chump, but there's no draw that's getting us out of this. So you don't need a mass amount of cards. You just need like one of the 2 drops. It's very important. One of either the Huntmaster or the Marauding Raptor. And then just like 2 dinos or something. Being able to play them out quickly and attack right away is usually good enough to end the game. Alright, so we want Grasp here to deal with that 4/4. Now what don't we want here? This is not very good. These are excellent. That's what we win with. Now, blue-green, huh? I don't like bringing in Planeswalkers, and I actually don't like even having Planeswalkers, because the flash mechanic, like, even if we play this, we get to tick up or maybe fight one of their bad creatures. Our opponent likely just plays a 4/4 and attacks back at it. Now, what would we want to keep in? Collision Colossus seems fine. This Veil seems pretty good at forcing through counter spells. Maybe we'll try one of these. It's not insanely great. And when our stuff does get countered, that makes Galta worse. So we'll try this as our spells. You don't want to sideboard a ton with this deck. It really plays out kind of like a combo deck. You can't bring in too many instants and sorceries because then your communications with the dinosaur starts to fail. So you really want to make sure you minimally sideboard and, you know, correctly sideboard. Alright, we'll go first. This hand is fine. We once again have 2 tap lands, so that's not great. But we can go Commune if we don't draw a land. I'm definitely going to keep this. Because then even on turn 3, if we get a red source, we can go Huntmaster into Raptor. No such luck. Now Stomping Ground is kind of what we're looking for here. Red source, so Blood Crypt does it. We just wanted a red source because we have double green. Okay, so we're going to go Blood Crypt. Now we will say go. Now this is the turn when we definitely wanted to be playing one of our 2 drops, but it was not the greatest of draws. Okay. I can't think of too much that's going to punish us and counter the Huntmaster. Countering the Huntmaster is pretty bad for us, but I don't think that is going to happen. So we are going to go Huntmaster. And then this. The reason you do it in this order is very obvious. If you play the Raptor first and into the Huntmaster, the Raptor eats the Master. Eats it very quickly. Turns the Huntmaster into food. So now next turn we get to go kind of crazy. What do you got? Okay, that's no problem. Now, if we're really thinking our opponent's going to try to counter something here, like Sinister Sabotage, we're just going to Saratog and then put him on the back foot. So then we can just proceed to play our other stuff when our opponent kind of has to catch up to the shifting Saratog. That is the main kind of thing you want to be doing, is playing your threats. Yeah, that's no big deal. Playing your threats in such a way where you can make sure they resolve, first of all. So now that they only have one blue, I think I'm actually going to change my mind and play Ripjaw Raptor. Because we get to draw a card off that, which is pretty busted. Ooh, don't get to do both. So I think we're going to start with Ripjaw. Alright. So this is not going to be able to get through with the Pro Red Drake, unfortunately, but what is this going to be, an opt or... Not bad. It's definitely not a terrible play, but I mean it's not super bad for us because we still get to attack with this. Get it in there. We just don't get to draw a card. That's all that Unsummon was draw a card, put a counter on our opponent's thing. And now play land, say go. Now, our great-grand Galta Father can be coming down next turn. If it's safe. If the coast is clear. I'm not going to risk Galta to a counter spell. Okay. Ooh, getting busy with the Drake, huh? Seems like madness to me, but what do I know? Okay. So, now we got options. But I think the best one is still just this, since it cannot be countered, and it cannot be blocked. And then we have a grasp open. Everything else can be countered right now, so that's not great on our part. So we're just going to go like this. And I think another reason why this deck is great right now is shifting Saratog or Rotting Regisaur or Ripjaw Raptor. One of those creatures is great against whatever deck you're playing. You know, one's either very, very fast, like the 7/6s against Simic Nexus. This card's insanely resilient against the blue decks, and Ripjaw Raptor crushes the red decks. So it's pretty impressive, the versatility of some of these cards. Okay. Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. So this land is actually hurting us right now, or we'd be able to slam Galta. Now, do we get busy with everything? I'm kind of thinking just the Saratog. Or just the Ripjaw Raptor. Or both. I think it's just both. We're not too afraid of our opponent. Alright, now we do have a Noxious Grasp if they do play the 4/4. Maybe I shouldn't be bringing in all of these. It hasn't seemed great. And I'm sure they cut some of the counterspells, so maybe even Veil is not that good either, but we'll see. Okay, so now they pump the brakes. Alright. So now we should be able to punish here. So there's no way they have enough counterspells for both of these things. So we're going to start with Regisaur Alpha. It's going to get countered. And then it's Galta time! It's Galta time! Dun dun, dun dun, dun 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 dun. Da-da-da. Galta. Yeah, Galta does it. This happened so many times. Like 2 mana 12/12. Oh yeah, I can never beat that in a million years, of course. Alright, so Grasp, I think I'm going to limit the amount we want. I think Collision Colossus is just better. We don't have any great answer to the Pro Red Drake, but we also just don't care that much. This is an answer, I guess. Maybe Domri is actually okay. I'm unsure of how many Grasp we want versus how many Veils. I bet on the play they have a lot more counter spells. But maybe that's a reason to keep Veils in. We're going to do a little split of all of them. Now that probably won't seem right, and more than likely it's not, but I don't want to overload on any of the effects. So I think just drawing one of each I think is reasonable. Yeah. Alright, on the draw against Blue-Green Flash, we want to be seeing our Ceratogs, and we want to be seeing them often. Ceratog, Ceratog. Or Ceratop, I guess. Yeah, Ceratops. Okay. Once again, our lands are just really not agreeing with us. I think this is a keep, but it is once again close. Ooh, okay, that's great. So, we'll hope to top deck a land so we can play this. If not, we can commune. Communication with the dinosaurs. Now, I think we just want a dino land here. Basically just an untapped land. So we can play this because we want double green. And then next turn we can either go Domri or Marauding Raptor. It's probably just going to be Marauding Raptor. Because Domri, this is the situation where it's not good. We play it, tick up. They play another flash creature and kill it, you know? So we're just going to play this, play another tap land. But then if we have to hold the brakes, we just go Shifting Ceratops, go. Sure. So that will stop us from being able to attack next turn, but not that big of a deal. We're probably just going to go Shifting Ceratops and just... lock that situation down. Just because there's a lot of damage coming too. And they get to draw another card. Can't be countered. Like, we can't really be tempoed out when they can't counter this. So. Dinosaur. Shifting Ceratops. And now the next one we play, we can also activate. Yep. I don't know what card they can really have to get it out of our way, but we can block this for free right now. Okay, it doesn't have reach until we pay for it though, so maybe that was a mistake. Now I think we're okay to attack, but maybe just to be safe we hold it back. So I think I'm just going to play another one. Yeah, we're just going to play another one and say go. Nah, I do want to start attacking. Because if they play the 4/4 at end step, which they could easily have because they just got their green source, I want to be able to pressure them. They could block it, of course, and they actually might. Which I think I'd be somewhat okay with. Alright, we'll play another one. This card's so good against these blue decks. You draw a card. Yeah, they just can't attack. Okay, now we're going to play stuff beforehand to see what resolves. Oh, yeah, okay. So, we're going to start with this. We're going to start with this. Sorry, just double checking my thinking here. Yeah, okay. Raptor. Okay, now I think we're just gonna attempt to play a Ripjaw. Ripjaw's not that good. And then this will base how we attack. We'd get to draw a card here. Okay, that's fine. Now, I just don't see a way we lose if we just double attack. The crackback, we might take 8. But also we could just attack 1 and make sure we have a blocker. Alright, we'll play it safe. We still have 10 coming back next turn. I still don't see a way we can lose. This card's just that good against these blue tempo-based decks. They just... Like, tempo is all about countering your threats on, you know, one after another, after another, after another. And when you don't have that option, you fall too far behind. Okay, so... I want to start with this. See if it resolves. Alright, this will fight, or this will deal 2 damage to it. We get to draw a card. Oh, tapped wrong. Wouldn't have been able to attack with it. Now, I think we go Domri? Alright, let's see if Domri resolves. Okay. Now we could add a mana and just play this to pump this. Or we could attempt to fight. Kind of like the fight idea. Can fight the blue creature. Now, if they play 2 spells, it stays alive.
My wild beasts will bring your comeuppance.
We'll get in there. So now, yeah, if they have the Ambusher, it'll kill one of the Ceratops. And then they'll have to chump block the Raptor. And then they'll be able to kill Domri, but I think this was a nice attack on our part. Well, give us a pat. That was a sweet turn. And now it's just going to be the head explosion phase. Because it's blue, facing down 4 shifting Ceratops. How can you ever win? Okay, they're trying to fight the good fight. So, we're going to make this uncounterable. Oh, this is going to be disgusting. Red. Alright, we're going to go like this. Uncounterable Regisaur Alpha. They're going to try to counter it. They're going to be sorely mistaken. Okay. We're going to cast a Shifting Ceratops. Yeah, this deck's insane. This deck is insane. This is one of our great matchups, though, I will say. Dinos preys upon blue-based tempo decks, so blue-green flash, mono-blue aggro, which are on the rise, and it preys on mono-red. It just, we paid 2 bigger creatures, and guess what just took first and second last weekend at the Open? Red and blue. So I think this is very well positioned for SCG Philadelphia, and let's play a couple more matches, and Hope the results continue proving that fact, okay? Stay tuned for our second round. Alright, welcome to round 2 here with Jund Dinosaurs. Okay, so we're on the draw and we're running into the same problem that we did both games of last round. 2 Rakdos and a Golgari Guildgate in our hand. I did make a change from cutting a couple forests from the standard list to play Woodland Cemetery because I played some more black cards in the sideboard. I still stand by it, but we have been drawing the side of variance so far. We're still going to keep this, but yeah, if this was a forest, it would be better, realistically. But what can you do? Okay, mono blue. All right, so we're really hoping for untapped green source, which there's more of in the deck. So you want to, or an untapped source, excuse me, but we want to play the red source because we have 2 red cards that if we top deck a land, we can play them. So a Blood Crypt, Stomping Ground, anything like that would be an excellent top deck. No such luck, that's unfortunate. Alright, mono blue should still be a good matchup. Our hand is not particularly good against the deck though, unfortunately. Like Ripjaw Raptor is not very good against blue. It's like the card we definitely want to side out. So now we want to top deck a red source so we can at least double spell. No such luck. With that being the case, I think we want to play whatever we don't care to get countered, and that would be Ojatai's Huntmaster. Whatever we play is probably getting countered here, realistically. And realistically, you always play the Huntmaster first, because the Marauding Raptor will kill the Huntmaster upon coming into play. Alright. Now we're going to be faced with a decision whether or not to block. It might be correct. It's just going to grow. We're already on a pretty bad clock here. I think I'm going to have to. Could be a dive down or something, but... yeah, this game one I think is going to be heavily dictated by the play. Now I think we just have to go Raptor. We have to go with the better foot forward, so we can at least start drawing some cards off Ripjaw. Yep. This Cutthroat is just going to become gigantic here. We're going to have to take 7 down to 5. We're probably just too far behind here. But like I said in the last round, I like our matchup. Ooh, they have black. This makes it a lot worse because they'll have like Cast Down or something like that for Ceratog. And that does make their deck a lot better against us. So here's Ceratog, and I mean, we have to play it just as a defense here. Still in trouble, but at least we get to attack for 4. And then no matter what, we can block this. Yeah, if they would have unsummoned right away, we would have just been dead on the spot, but... okay, so we're not dead yet. We are going to 1 with this, but we have to just like block here and it doesn't kill anything. And then there's no draw we can actually have to come back. If we could kill that and it wasn't as big, we might be alright. But yeah, that card gets gigantic. Game 2. That was a pulverizing beating. If we were on the play, I think we would have probably won, but it still would have been close. Alright, so... now, what don't we like here? I really don't like Ripjaw. And Galta's okay. Now, Flame Sweep is definitely interesting. And I also think Veil is pretty decent. But I don't like Domri very much. So we're probably going to keep in a couple Ripjaws. You can't go too low on creatures. Alright. Veil's good, especially if they have Cast Down to deal with our Ceratops. So I think we want it like this. And still, Regisaur Alpha, or I mean, Rotting Regisaur, all the cards sound exactly the same in this deck. All of them have the exact same names. It's very confusing. And any of you that know me out there, or have seen any of my videos in the past, I mix up card names. So I'm sorry in advance. I know that's been a popular feedback so far, and I'm sorry. I try to get the card names correctly, and I am working on it, but yeah, I screw that up a decent amount, so that is my bad. Okay, this hand's fine. We got the Raptor into Shifting Ceratops on turn 3, so this hand is excellent. Alright, we're going to start with green-red. Maybe could have started with green-black. It matters very little. Okay. Alrighty, so now a Shifting Ceratops next turn. Jam for 4 is likely going to be our play, but it could be Rotting Regisaur. But I kind of doubt it, because if we go Shifting Ceratops, then the turn after we could go Rotting Regisaur as well as Collision or Colossus. Okay, so we'll just do this. Dun da da da! Against your island strategy, a pro island card. Yahtzee! Boom. We'll get in there for 4. We'll yell with the cat a little bit, and then we'll ship it there. All right, no play on 2. It'd be a weird way to think of how I lose this game. It would start with Swamp Cast Down for sure. So now we have the way to kill that if we're given the option. Or we just always just hold back Shifting Ceratops, you know? Ooh, no cast down. Okay. We could just do that. I kind of don't like it. I'd rather play 2 spells this turn and use Regisaur Alpha as kind of our finisher. Because this is already just good enough right now. They have to counter this if it's a thing. And then we get to collision this. Okay, so we're going to do that. Deal 6 damage there. Alright. So, on the draw, Collision is great against him. Flame Sweep is just okay. But, one thing you want to learn about this deck that is very valuable information is when you see a Drowned Catacombs, you will not be seeing Tempest Djinn because it is a Nombo. So, their deck is a lot more focused on like little creatures. So, Flame Sweep is actually quite good. Other than that, as far as changes we want to make, we could go a little bit lower on Regisaur Alpha, but I don't think it's great. We could have a couple Duress on the draw instead of Veil. Veil seems really good if I can just protect my Dinos a little bit. Play it a little slower with Flame Sweep. We're going to keep it like this. It could be a chance that we're just not supposed to have Galta at all. But how do you take out a 12-12 for 2? 2 mana 12-12? Yes, please. Sign me up. Where do I sign? Okay, this hand's good. Good-ish. We do have a lot of expensive stuff. All right. Yeah, we don't want to play Veil on turn 1, so we're just going to do this. Hope for no Curious Obsession draw. Yay! Ooh, could be spicy. So we're just going to go with a Raptor here, probably get it countered. Okay, and Tempest Djinn won't be coming down, I would imagine. Okay. Play another little creature. Alright, we're just gonna say go. Hope they play into this. Alright, we're gonna let this happen, and then next turn we're just gonna go Flame Sweep plus Veil. Gonna say go. I think we gotta do it now. 2 damage. With a Veil backup plan. And then we got a Regisaur Alpha coming down next turn. Not another counter. And we get to draw a card if this works. Veil of Summer is disgusting. But we don't play a lot of them because it is a good matchup for us already, so. Okay. So that is bad. We go to 11 now. We do get to resolve a Regisaur Alpha. I mean, that's good. And that's the main reason why we did this during their upkeep. Okay. Alright, now the clock is a lot closer. We're still on a 3-turn clock, though. So we can drop a Galta. We can play these, too. And it's kind of like a test the waters. No, we can't. If we want to play a big creature, we have to just do this. Wait a minute. We can actually go Huntmaster, Galta. Yeah, okay. I like that. Huntmaster. Oh, dinosaurs you... Okay, so we just can go Huntmaster into Galta. Still pretty strong. Oh! Alright, attack for 19. Okay, that has to chump. Oh, Galta resolving! Hello! Oh no. Okay, so we have to block with this. If they top deck unsummon, we lose. But if they don't, we just get to go Galta. What's this? No! No! What a tilt! Oh no! No! Ah, that's defeating. That's defeating. Yep. What can you do about that one? Well, we set it up pretty well, but yeah, having to take the 2 damage off that shock land on the turn to play Regisaur Alpha ended up getting us, but we had to play it the way we did. We could have not left Flame Sweep up on turn 3 and played a tap land and then Flame Swept plus Veil the turn after like we did. And then I think we would have won the game because of that, but I still think it was the correct play because if they played another creature into it, we would have been able to Flame Sweep and wipe the board. So it's tough. It's a tough way to think about that, but that's brutal. That's brutal. All right, well, stay tuned to round 3. See if we can redeem ourselves and get a 2-1 out of this video primer here. Okay, stay tuned. And welcome to our 3rd and final round here with Dinos. All right, so we finally got the play. That's nice. See if we can play another blue tempo deck and get some redemption for that last one. So this hand is a little unfortunate. Not having one of the 2-drop red creatures is a big deal. But I think this hand curves well enough, and we're on the play. If we were on the draw, I would snap mulligan this. But on the play, I'm going to keep this. Just because our mana base is perfect. If we were to top deck a 2-drop here next turn, this hand's insane. But with the way it stands, Rotting Regisaur on 3 with a follow-up is still fine. Not exactly what we want to be doing. We're playing against blue again. Well, I mean, honestly, if this is what's all over Arena right now, this is a good deck to be playing. And this is kind of what I expect for the metagame for next week, so. For SCG Philadelphia, yep, we're fine with that. We still got a good curve, 4, 5, 6. All right, so blue-green tempo. And now they will not be doing anything against this one. Pearl blue. Such a good card against him. We're going to see the power. Yep, Trickster resolves. Alright, and it can't be the 4/4 to flash block. So here, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate if this gets countered, which it probably will. Now, we actually could commune and try to find an uncounterable thing, but if they have negate, that is such a bad play. So we're just going to jam. We Dinos, we came to jam. Ooh, and sometimes it works. Another tricky trickster? Okay. We'll be getting in there. Ceratops, Ceratops, Ceratops. Okay, another Merfolk trickster. I actually would have liked if our opponent would have let me attack with the 3/3 and then Trickster down Regisaur Alpha and double block. That would have been a much better play on our opponent's part and a good learning lesson. Okay, so now this is 3 mana. So we're going to commune as a bit of bait. Ew. Alright, once again, we're going to jam, though. Everybody get up. We came to jam now. Galta. That's fair. Firm but fair. Alright, we're still at a plenty healthy life total, so I'm not even going to consider not attacking with both. Now, if they have the 1/1... Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, so that does mess with our clock a little bit. We have lethal next turn if Regisaur resolves. So that does mean they have to have a plan for this. 5, 6, 7. So another Frilled Mystic, and we would actually have to leave this back. So that's a problem. So we want to play this first because it'll let us know if we have to leave back or not. Okay. Now I'm going to jam. Okay, that's interesting that he's letting us do this. Now, if they have the 4/4, this is worse. 4/4 would just trade with this, though. We're just going to attack with this. We're going to win with this next turn, if they don't have anything crazy here. Like Merfolk Trickster, if they have double Trickster, I guess we lose. Not again? Five, 6, 7. I don't think there's a reason to go to stay at 3 instead of 2. Guess I can't think of anything. All right. Okay. Just the last ditch effort. All right, blue-green flash. This is kind of a weird little episode this week where we played against 3 blue-based tempo decks, but what can I say? I don't pick and choose which matches to show you. I show you the first 3, As long as I don't win so badly that it's not a game. So far, they've been 2 really great matches. Okay, so blue-green. I don't like Flame Sweep against blue-green because they have a little bit more creatures. Now, Veil, I think, is still fine. We probably just sideboard very minimalistic here. No. Maybe we'll bring in a couple because... yeah, Galta is also not great. Might go a little lower on Galta. Just a one of. Sure. Now the only thing we're weak to with this is the 4/4 flash, but maybe they take it out. Like they never played against me post board, and this card's kind of narrow, so I really think this is for your Llanowar Elf ramp decks, but it's excellent against them. So we'll leave it like this. All right, game 2 up a game against a blue-green tempo deck. We're really going to see the power of, sorry we didn't have more of a showcase of this deck, but we're really going to see the power of Shifting Ceratops in the metagame right now. And what do you know? There it is. Our hand is great. All right, so we have communication with the dinosaurs for turn 1. Not even positive we want to play it, because I don't know exactly what we want. Okay, we're definitely playing it since we drew another one. But if we didn't draw another one, I might not have actually done it. So I think we'll get the 7/6 here. We don't necessarily need lands yet, so. Gives us a good follow-up regardless. Okay, so here we need to take 2. There's our 1 of Galta. Play the 2-drop. Always play the 2-drop. If you got it, play it. Okay. I'd recommend they unsummon if they don't, yeah, because Shifting Ceratops will be coming down to play next turn. And that should be GG. Maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not by much. All right, we're doing it. Boom, Shifting Ceratops. The card's just good against non-blue decks, too. Like, that's the thing. Put Tucker permanent. That's red or green. Yeah, I guess that does work, huh? All right. All right. That is pretty strong. Now, I think we just want to do some communicating. We want to land. Or just another shifter. I think we want to land here. And then I think we just drop the Rotting Regisaur. I don't want to take damage as well, so we're just going to go like this. Well, actually, we can go this plus Raptor. That's much better. Because then this has haste anyways. So then we just don't discard a card, but we still get to attack with it next turn if we want. Name a more iconic duo. Alright. Our opponent just doesn't have any cards left, though. That's the problem. Like, we're gonna cast stuff, I promise. Okay. Can we go this plus Galta? It's gonna make it 7 less. No, unfortunately not. But we can go Raptor plus Shifting Ceratops? Or Raptor plus Ripjaw. That's probably better. Alright. We're going to start with Raptor. All plans begin with the Raptor. Okay, now to avoid a counterspell. Oh my, never mind. We get to play multiple creatures here. So we're going to start with this. Fight, draw a card. Alright, and then 7/6. Alright, so now what do we want to attack with? This dies to the 4/4, this dies to the 4/4, and this deals... So this is the most damage. I think we're going to just send in the most damage outside of... I guess we're okay if they just play that thing and block. So, yeah, we're just going to go max damage. They were going to do that to whatever we played. There's just no way our opponent's getting out of this one. So we should have been 3-0 in this week, but we got really good by that top deck Melody last round. That was a tilt. They were dead next turn. I mean, we did play against 3 matchups that are very good, but I think there's a lot of good matchups out there. I think Esper Hero is very good because of the Pro Blue creature. I think Teamer is very close. Whoever's on the play usually wins that one. And then the bad matchups, I think, are like Simic Ramp. Simic Ramp is probably the worst. Nexus we crush because we're just so fast. We're throwing 7/6s at him constantly. Other than that, Mono Red we crush. I think this deck is set up very well. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the deck in the recap here. So stay tuned. We'll talk a little bit more. I'll do a walkthrough of every matchup and what matchups we want specific cards in here in the recap. Trying something new. I'm going to try to give this recap a little bit more of bonus content. So we're going to go through a little real-life talking sideboard tutorial here. So stay tuned for the recap, okay? Alright, welcome to the recap here with Dinos. This deck is just as big as me in this video. It is insane. Everything just works so well together. Now, don't get me wrong, this deck has some problems, and I want to point them out here. Mainly, it revolves around Huntmaster and Marauding Raptors. They're insane. They're the best cards in the deck because they facilitate the good draws. When you don't draw these cards, you need to aggressively mulligan to these cards. You're okay going down to 5 if your hand is Marauding Raptors, 2 lands, and 2 Rotting Regisaurs. Like, you don't need a lot of cards to make that hand good. You're attacking for a bunch, and like this card's just so hard to kill that it just really doesn't matter. So don't be afraid to aggressively mulligan a little bit with this deck. So our matchups, we played 3 blue tempo-based decks. Kind of awkward, you know, since I did want to showcase in every matchup here. But I recommend you go out and play this because it does have good matchups across the field. I do think there are certain bad ones, like I bet Esper Control is pretty bad. If they have a bunch of Cast Downs and Kaya's Wrath. Cast Down and Kaya's Wrath are probably public enemy number 1 and 2. Cast Down being the worst for this deck in my opinion. It just kills everything for such a cheap rate. And just kind of does it all. But overall, this deck just has great matchups against the field. I'm going to be playing it this weekend. I think it's the real deal. So, you know, hopefully be checking some feature matches at SCG Philadelphia where I try to make my opponents extinct instead of my dinos extinct. I know, not funny, not funny. My dad jokes are carrying over. Alright, so I talked about the main deck cards and I talked about the sideboard cards a little bit in the intro, but now I want to just break down exactly what these specific cards are for, okay? So, as far as Duress is kind of a trap. You don't want to bring this in a lot. It comes in against Nexus and actual Esper Control. Other than that, you do not want Duress. You know, some people say, why not bring it against blue? Why not bring it against, like, is it Phoenix? Because you really need to be playing your creatures, and you can't be making your deck so concentrated on instants and sorceries that your commune with the dinosaurs are bad. You need to be able to have a good selection of cards for commune. So I just bring it in against Nexus and Esper Control. And cards, while we're talking about those matchups, cards you don't want in those matchups, Collision Colossus, very bad, and Domri. So Domri, those are the cards that stand out to me, as well as some Galtas, and other cards to bring in, Veil of Summer, And against Nexus, you want to be bringing in Thrashing Brontodon, as well as Domri here. So the cards that are bad against Control and Nexus are going to be Domri, Collision, and Galta. Just because Galta, they kill so many of your other creatures that you end up, this thing actually costs 12 half the time. So those are the cards you want to take out in those matchups. Now we'll go to Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer is a much more interesting card. Veil comes in a wide variety of matchups. It's mainly for, and this is a reason why I may want to up it to 3 of them, because the card is great. It still comes in against these blue-based tempo decks because sometimes you need to force through a flame sweep, or you need to just make sure, if people start adopting cast down, you have to make sure you're able to protect your Ceratops, protect your other dinos. It's just a great card. Veil of Summer is really good right now. But it also is very good against blue-green mass manipulation style decks or Bant Ramp. Just being able to make sure that they can't mass manipulation you or Entrancing Melody is insanely huge, and that is one of our worst matchups. So you want Veil of Summer against them. Noxious Grasp, you also want it against these Simic Nexus decks. Also comes in against like Traditional White Weenie. Traditional White Weenie is also another bad matchup. You wouldn't think so. You're like, oh, we go over the top. But if you think back to last Standard, actual Gruul with Rekindling Phoenixes, Domrays, Ambush, stuff like that, the deck's worst matchup was White-Blue Weenie. It's very bad because they go wide on you, and they're able to play cheap effective removal or free effective removal in the form of Conclave Tribunal. So it's still the same here. We don't have a lot of great answers for it. You can win, but you know how I said earlier in the match that you have one of 3 creatures that is excellent against every deck in the form of Rotting Regisaur, Ripjaw Raptor, or Ceratops? Not against White. White, they're all bad. They're all very medium to bad. So that is a matchup that's bad just for that reason. Just think of good matchups and bad matchups. If one of these 3 creatures, one of these 4 of 3-drop creatures is good against one of the decks, it's probably a good matchup because the other creatures are okay against those matchups as well. Another deck you want to bring it in against, don't bring it in against Blue-Green Flash. Blue-Green Flash, Blue-Green Tempo Flash, we tried it in the first match, and I just don't think it's good. I'm starting to think out sometimes our opponents are taking out the 4-mana wolf anyways, so it's really invalidating this kind of card, as well as being, you know, a dead card against the rest of the deck. Flame Sweep is a very good card. You bring it in against you bring it in against Mono Blue. You don't bring it in against Blue-Green Flash, but you bring it in against Mono Blue and Vampires. 2 decks that it's just great against. You know, you really want these kind of effects, as well as you might play against like Green-White Tokens. Mono Red that doesn't play, Mono Red that isn't Aaron Barich's recent list, you want to bring it in as well, like traditional Mono Red, but her list really focuses on X3s. There's the Chandra Spitfire, there's Chain Whirlers. It's just not good there. And even against traditional Mono Red, I don't think you want all 3. It's kind of a narrow card in some regards. Thrashing Brontodon, great against Simic Nexus. That's mainly what it's there for. Being able to play an aggressive threat that can also destroy some of their very important cards is, destroy their Search for Azcanta or Wilderness Reclamation is very important. You also bring this in against like White Weenie. That's about it. There's not a lot of enchantment-based removal. Thrashing Brontodon is kind of a narrow sideboard card, but I have not found a better solution to bring in against Nexus. I may go down to like, I don't know, 2 and have another Veil or another Noxious Grasp. Not sure. And then Domri, anything slow. You don't want to bring this in against any creatures. Any deck that's trying to kill your creatures, bring in Domri, okay? So changes I would make moving forward. I love Veil. I want a 3rd Veil somewhere, and Brontodon, like I said, is kind of weak. Also, Domri is a little bit untested. So maybe Domri just isn't good. So moving forward, changing the sideboard, I would think about adding a Veil no matter what. And things I would kick out are either Thrashing Brontodon, Domri, or maybe Flame Sweep. But I think Flame Sweep is good enough. So that's the sideboard here. Now for the main, I think the main is great. Cards that you side out in particular matchups. Any deck that kills, that is trying to kill your creatures, Galta should be taken out or trimmed. Regisaur Alpha almost never comes out. So just don't touch Regisaur Alpha. It's insane. I mean, it's busted. You get to cast it for a very discounted rate a large amount of times. Collision Colossus, if you don't have a deck that's trying to block your giant creatures or have flyers, you want to take it out. This card I take out pretty frequently for other spells. So when in doubt, kind of take this one out. Shifting Ceratops, I used to take it out against non-blue decks, like vampires and stuff like that, but it's just good. It's just good against them. Vampires is the one matchup where I would probably shave a few. Yeah, that's the only matchup where I'd ever consider shaving a few, but everything else is just good. It's just a great card right now. Maybe the Dino Mirror, the Jund Dinosaur Mirror, I would take it out. It's very bad there. Ripjaw Raptor, whenever the fight effect, whenever they don't have creatures that Ripjaw Raptor can kill, you want to take it out. So, Esper Control, Mono Blue Aggro, Blue Green, it's okay. So this is normally the card you trim against blue base aggressive decks because you do want to keep your creature count high. And then I talked... Rotting Regisaur, never. This card's insane. It dodges so much of your opponent's removal when they're bringing in like Aether Gusts or, you know, when they're just trying to... Just never take it out. It's so good. It's a 3-mana 7/6. It gains haste most of the time. It's disgusting. This is good. Anytime the fight ability is good, this is good. Don't be trapped into keeping Domri in your deck because of the uncounterable clause, because it itself can be countered. So you actually want to take it out against these tempo-based decks. Don't be tricked in by that keyword because it is a 3-mana Planeswalker that likely can get countered, as well as the fact that if you play it and you don't have creatures on the board, they're likely to just play a flash creature and then attack it and you just wasted your spell. And then, same with these, never take them out. They're the heart and soul of the deck. Commune of the Dinosaur, never take it out. Now, I want to mention one thing that we ran into. I changed some cards here. I changed 2 forests to 2 woodland cemeteries, and we had a decent problem with having too many tap lands. So I think moving forward, I'm going to take out 1 cemetery for 1 more forest. 3 forests I think is fine. And then I think... 5, 9, 10 black sources is enough for Noxious Grasp and Duress, but it's close. I need Frank Karsten's help out there, so if you're there, Frank Karsten, someone tag him and help him for me, and ask him what my mana base should be, because Frank is the smartest man when it comes to Magic, maybe just in life. So let's get him in on that. I will be the first to admit I'm not great with mana bases, so I usually defer to other people's expertise. Well, that's it, y'all. Jund Dinosaurs. It's not extinct, but you can extinct your opponents with this very powerful strategies. So pick this up at SCG Philadelphia and thank me later when you're filthy rich after the prize money. I know that's what I'm going to be trying to do. We'll see you at my first Star City games this weekend. Please feel free to come say hello. I'm very excited to start playing in this fantastic tour, fantastic series. So we'll see you then, and we'll see you next week for another episode. And I believe we're going to be switching to a little bit of Modern next week. So stay tuned for a sweet Modern brew next week. Bye-bye.